If so, please identify yourself by pressing the raise your hand icon, or if you are joining by phone, pressing *9 on your keypad. And when you are recognized, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Mr. Salzberg.
Hi, Rich Salzberg, Every Times.
That's all I see.
That's it. Okay, thanks. And then I'm also tasked with making a statement concerning remote participation.
Ms. Tierney, sorry, another person raised their hand. I apologize.
That's okay.
Dave Creed.
Yeah, Dave Creed, Nantucket Current.
Okay, thank you very much.
All set?
Yes, thank you.
Pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, and in line with social distancing guidelines followed during the COVID-19 pandemic, board members today are participating remotely in today's meeting because their physical attendance today would be unreasonably difficult. All board members are participating in the meeting by Zoom video conference application, and all members will be clearly audible to each other. As a result of the members' remote participation in this meeting, any and all votes taken by the members shall be by roll call vote. Okay. Mr. Davis?
Good morning, everyone. And I think the first item on the agenda is the only item on the agenda. And I'll ask Terrence Keneally to assist in this regard. Before you is a request from 41 North Offshore, be providing barge freight truck service from New Bedford to Nantucket, Monday through Friday, from May 15th through October 19th, for up to 70 trips as a pilot program. At this point, the only public comment we have received has been from Representative Strauss from Bristol County, and previously had read that into the record regarding requirement that no trash or hazardous materials be transported. Terrence, I don't know whether you have to add, can you add to this?
No, that's right, Bob. So in the packet today, and further to what Bob was saying, we did our further due diligence following the board's last meeting. We took a look at the license agreement that we typically use, we modified it to conform with the request that we received from 41 North. And in addition, we've also done a revenue analysis. Mr. Rosen and Mr. Davis put that together. Oh,
excuse me, Terry.
sure, Mr. Jones.
I cannot understand you. Do you have a microphone closer or what? It is very muffled, at least from my computer.
How about if I speak up? How about that? Is that better?
Better?
Okay, sir, I'll speak up for you. So as I was saying, we, following the board's last meeting, we've gone back and done some more due diligence. We've gone and looked at our draft or our form license agreement, modified it to conform to the request from 41 North. We put that in your packet. It's tailored towards the license agreement, but also the request. Again, it's a limited time. It's about 22 weeks between mid-May and October of this year. Again, the estimation is 70 round trips from New Bedford to Nantucket. In the packet, we have also a financial analysis done by Mr. Rosen, along with Mr. Davis. And again, it seems that the real issue there is, are we going to lose revenue, or how is it going to be offset? I think by looking at that, I think it was fairly well laid out. Again, it depends, the amount of revenue and so forth really is going to depend upon the number of vehicles that are loaded. Again, this is a project or a pilot program. So again, we're looking at somewhere between 3 to 5 tractor trailers on board this barge from New Bedford. Again, the analysis, so if you take the vehicles off the vessel or the steamship's ferry, that's going to free up some space for some the standard fare cars, more than likely. Again, because of the demand that we had last year for standard fare cars, Rob knows that very well, that we had a big demand for standard fare cars last year, and it was somewhat of a, people were competing for space last year, so so that's one benefit I think that's going to happen here. I think really at the end of the day, by looking at that financial analysis, I think it really offsets each other in terms of, you take the trucks off, you put the standard fare cars on, those are gonna kind of even itself out as far as I could tell from Mark's analysis. Mark can add some to that if he, or Bob can add to that. But at the end of the day, we spoke with the principals at 41 North. We took a look at some of the financial information that they provided to us confidentially. We took a look at that information. We took a look at their proposal. We took a look at their vessels, their certificates of documentation with the Coast Guard is also in your packet. They have vessels that can complete the journeys of the voyages, I should say. And again, we think they're a good outfit. They do regular business with us in terms of delivering mobile home, modular homes, I should say, to as well as transporting bulk materials such as aggregate and so forth to the island. So if there's an outfit that can do it in this manner, I think Jonah and his group can do it. I don't think there's any really concern that they can't perform the work. But again, it's simply a matter of kind of assessing what the impact to the authorities' operations are. And right now, it seems that it's going to be supplementing our efforts, not taking away from them. So with that, I'll leave it for other comments, but that's really kind of how we see it.
Any comments? Mr. Malcolm?
Thank you, Chair. I guess this is directed to Mark. In the documents that we received in diligence, it showed a projected operating revenue loss of 208,000. Yet in the other documents, we show a projected operating loss of either 239,000 on 3 trips a day, or 399,000 on 5 trips a day. Can somebody help me understand that?
Sure. The original, I believe the original one only showed the cost of the truck itself. I included the cost, the revenue from the driver services we provide for the UPS.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the increased cost would be. It's roughly about $150 per round trip truck.
But I'll also want to point out that we're having a hard time getting CDL drivers. So in terms of offloading our vessels, it's a bit challenging to have enough CDL drivers to take the trucks off the boat.
And we wanted to show worst case scenario, throw everything in there.
All right, just we had a spreadsheet, and then we had a 208,000 on a discussion paper. So I was trying to reconcile the 3 different numbers. I have one further question. I guess it's to Mr. Davis. What we are talking on making up the revenue with, as I take it, is increased passenger traffic or passenger vehicles. Have we discussed with people in Nantucket the impact of additional vehicles coming to the island in season and any concerns they may have with increased traffic?
Yeah, so our understanding is that UPS is just going to be using this service to supplement the reservations we were able to acquire for them. Again, with the capacity constraints that we have on that route, if they were to be, shifting some of them over, we anticipate a significant amount of those spaces will be backfilled, whether they're through other freight shippers or whether they're automobiles, whether they be excursion island customers or tourists.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that Nantucket, any concerns Nantucket may have had about potential increased volume of traffic was okay with Nantucket. Thank you.
Rob? Can you speak on behalf of Nantucket, Rob?
Yes, I'll speak on behalf of Nantucket. The concerns are mostly around operational concerns, congestions at the terminal and that sort of thing. The idea that additional passenger vehicles will be coming in place of UPS trucks is those vehicles will be coming here anyway, either by standby or some other means. So I don't think that's really a concern at this point.
Great, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Jones?
Yes, I have no problems with the service, and especially that it's going to be, it's not going to affect Hyannis at all, except for the fact of relieving some traffic, which the amount of traffic will be, you'll never even notice. But in any event, it's a plus for Hyannis. But I have a more of a concern about the formula that you've used to develop, the wharfage and things like that. You upped from the last time you upped the dockage and wharfage by $100 to $200, which is fine. I have no problem with that, but I do have, I look at that it's taken $208,000 out of our budget. And even though you've got a section there that's showing, well, you can backfill with this and backfill that, so that's even. But no matter what you say, that it's $200,000 that we're giving away of our ridership and our income to run the Steamship Authority. And the Steamship Authority was developed as a monopoly to ensure that we could continue to operate, in the black. And you don't do that by giving away ridership numbers. Every other carrier we have has a license fee, and their fees are predicated upon a percentage of ridership, and even one of them has escalators in there. So I don't know why that we're not putting a license fee similar to what our other licensed carriers have to help offset the money that we will be using. And to say that, we'll backfill or something else, well, there's a counter to that too, because if you read further down in the prospectus here, it talks about, that this whole prospectus was put together basically on the UPS. And reading further in there that if they have space available, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, that they will put other carriers there that can request that space. And if there's other carriers, all of those will come from the Steamship Authority because there's no other carriers that they can use. So it's not $208,000, it's $200,000 plus, and we don't know what that plus is. So the way I've been looking at this here is that I have no problem with $200 dockage. That's fine, and the use of our employees and paying for that service. But I really think there's more to the equation that we should be looking at. Now, you got to remember that, we've got an RFP out, and we don't know what that's going to bring back. But nevertheless, it should be consistent of what we're putting together right now. And which raises another question that I have is Representative Strauss stating that there'll be no hazardous materials, et cetera, et cetera. Well, one of the reasons for the long-term plans from the Vineyard to New Bedford is basically includes getting rid of being able to transfer it, they're hazardous, and put it on a train and whatever. And so I don't know if that particular letter carries for further, use or not. But that'll come up when we if we get an RFP and we have to hash out those issues. But I think what we do now today, we should take into consideration what we might have to do, with the other RFP. But also, if we grant this without doing something like this, it'll be very difficult to add that on at a future date. If they come back, next year and they're successful, which I hope they are, that I think we should have a license fee. And I don't think that's unreasonable, and that that means you're going to have to get a pencil and paper and figure out how to do it. But I mean, just using the formulas of our other licensed carriers, it's a percentage figure of, I think is it a net operating profit, per ticket, or however you come up with that. So that's what I bring to the table here, and I think it would be fair to discuss this and see if this is reasonable or unreasonable. I mean, they've made a good argument, that they will need about 70 trips, to which they think, in addition to what we've been able to give them, which I don't know if it's true or not, but it doesn't matter. The whole prospectus is based around that. So I just think that right now that we've got to make sure that we're confident and we're satisfied this is the best formula to use. As I say, if we had to vote on it right now, I'd raise my hand to do the pilot. But I would also, encourage us to take a careful look at that, and I'd like to hear some feedback and comment on that.
Any comment? Bob?
If I may. So in terms of the rates that are in the draft, we went back and we looked at there's a tariff that pertains to wharfage and dockage. Most of the wharfage that we have is barge related for aggregate, and there's a tonnage charge for that. There is no recognition of vehicles being a drive on off type situation. The fee that we have is based upon the length of the vessel and the length of the tug, and the tariff specifies it's $1 per foot. I will point out that tariff, because that portion of the tariff, since it hasn't been used, was last updated in 1989. So, looking at it, perhaps it needs to be some adjustment there. But we're putting together this, staff summary on the basis of what the tariff permitted us to do. Now, whether the board wants to consider revising that as part of it, that'd be an item that you could discuss. The other piece of it, Mr. Jones, you're referring to, so for the passenger service carriers, Highline, Sea Streak, Freedom Cruise, the others, theirs is based on a per passenger count, and it's based on an average of passenger revenue for the prior year for the particular route. And then there's percentages, and each one of them has an escalator that as they carry more and more passengers, the percentage goes up on what they would be paying the Steamship Authority. So in terms of, for this service, I guess it would be something based on the number of trucks that they carried, if that was something that the board so desired.
Mr. Malcolm?
You're muted.
Can't hear you.
Question from my colleague, Mr. Jones. Bob, if your concern is the impact of this on a go-forward basis as opposed to the current situation to accommodate the economic needs in Nantucket, given the reservation issue for some common carrier trucks, is it the word, if the word pilot were taken out of this agreement and it was simply an agreement for this year, would that allay your concerns?
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
It was.
was.
What you said, Bob, there's a couple of us hanging around, so.
Oh, sorry about that, Bob.
No, I don't, I have no problem with the word pilot. I mean, I think it's fine. And I'm just looking, you know, I'm looking in the future, if in fact that they come back and say, you know, this works really fine, we will have perhaps lost a very, very high volume carrier taken right out of our income mix. And I think we should get, like every other licensee, there should be a license with a percentage that comes back to the steamship authority. You know, we have to pay the bills. You know, an old Cape Cod Carter, who's a friend of mine, always used to tell me, he says, you know, if you look after the nickels and dimes, the dollars will take care of themselves. And he should know because he's built up a fortune. But, you know, these in some date, they have $14,000 is all we're going to recoup out of the loss of 208. Even though we can make up a matrix that says, well, we won't do that because we can backfill with automobiles and we can do this and the other thing. I just look at it as an individual case. I don't care about the backfills. I don't care about the trade-offs. I care about the service and that's why we're doing this as a service. But I think the steamship authority should look after its own pocketbook, because it's the ratepayers in the end that suffer. And we know that, and we shouldn't just, you know, overlook it. I don't believe anyways, so, you know.
Mr. Jeffrey?
I agree with, you know, Mr. Jones's concerns moving forward beyond this year, but I think right now as a board, we're facing the extraordinary circumstance of this common carrier missing the reservation. If we do too much with the pilot license, are we going to make it a poison pill for 41 North to want to move forward for this year alone, this season alone? And what, I mean, the economic impact on Nantucket, I think, would be devastating if they don't get their freight during this season. And it seems, I mean, I don't think UPS or the common carrier is moving forward trying to address this because they don't believe that the space that we're freeing up for them is going to meet the needs of Nantucket. And I agree with that. I defer to Mr. Rainey on that, but I think if we don't do something for this year, the island of Nantucket and its businesses will suffer. So, but I do agree with Mr. Jones. I think what we should do then is beyond the pilot, I think we need to direct the authority to take a look at its tariff and wharf fees moving forward. And if this is going to go beyond a pilot year, address the licensing concerns that Mr. Jones brings up beyond this year.
I think that's very, very well put. Rob, did you have any comments?
Yeah, no, I would agree with what Mr. Jeffrey said. I think that given how this unfolded originally, I think probably next year we're maybe not going to be in the same situation because I think UPS or the common carrier involved here is going to find out that doing that by barge is way more difficult than actually booking reservations the normal way. But we can look at that going forward. Absolutely. Maybe those fares should be, or those tariffs should be, updated to the present time, whether we use them or not. But yeah, I'm the way this is spelled out now is totally fine with me. And as a pilot, I think we should go forward with it.
Rob, would you like to make that a motion?
I will absolutely make whatever I just said a motion.
All right, can I just have one, before the vote, can I just make one point for clarity's sake? In Article 18 of the license agreement itself in the draft, it says unequivocally that this licensing that we're granting only will go to October 19th, 2022. And any subsequent license after that date has to be renegotiated and so forth. So again, there's a hard stop October 19th, 2022 on this. So I just want to make sure that that gets clarified.
Mr. Malcolm?
Yeah, I'll second that motion. And then the point I was making about taking the word pilot out was simply to underscore what Terrence just said. But thank you. So I'll second the motion that Mr. Rainey made.
All right, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Davis?
I just want to add one more thing to the mix here, that whether we do this as a separate, whether it's considered separately or not, but after preparing this, the concern is that next year's bulks will be predicated upon this year's activity. And if these shippers end up going with the barge operations, and then it turns out that, they want to return back to the bulk program, whether the board would want to consider, any of those shipments done via a barge as consistent with shipments that were done via the Steamship Authority vessels, or whether they would be impacted by that. So,
I think the former.
okay. And I apologize. I don't know whether Mark Reese from the Port Council, whether he's in the meeting. I know he had some comments that he would like to bring up. If he is, I'm not sure. I don't have.
I don't see him here, Bob.
Okay. I think his concerns were the route in which the trucks were taking, that it'd be from a Fairhaven perspective, they're coming through Fairhaven, they're going to have to contend with the bridge traffic. So they would like to see that, if possible, that the trucks come from Route 18 on the New Bedford side, which is on the correct side of the bridge if the bridge is open. So for Fish Island.
Okay. Mr. Malcolm?
Sorry, just before the vote, Ms. Chair, I just wanted to confirm, Bob, the concerns that Representative Strauss raised are addressed in this language.
Yes, that's included in the draft.
Thank you.
It's in Article 4, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you.
Terrence, where do I stand now? Do I have a motion and a second?
You have a first and a second. The first by Mr. Rainey, the second by Mr. Malcolm. So we are ready for a roll call vote if you're willing to do that, Ms. Chairman.
Yes, thank you so much. May I have a roll call vote?
Jeffrey, aye.
Jones, Mr. Jones?
Jones, aye.
Malcolm, aye.
Rainey, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Thank you.
That conclude our business, Mr. Davis?
That's the only other thing, and we can come back to the board in the future regarding the impact on the bulk portion of this, if the board so desires.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, we do have public comment on the agenda, so we just
Yes.
offer that.
Thank you, Mr. Driscoll. Is there any public comment?
You will be shocked to find out Mr. Salzberg has a public comment, I'm sure.
Hi,
Rich.
folks. This is an easy one. Could you just reiterate that that motion? I'm in a noisy place, so I didn't quite catch it. That's all. Thank you very much.
It was to, I can follow up with you, Rich, but it was to accept the recommendation of staff.
a minus the word pilot or
No,
including?
no, there was no, there's not a removal of the word pilot.
Okay, thank you very much.
Move
Now
we
may I have a
adjourn.
roll call vote to adjourn? May I have a motion to adjourn, please? Mr. Jeffrey, seconded by Mr. Ranney. May I have a roll call vote?
Jeffrey, I.
Jones, aye.
How can I?
Randy, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you,
Tim.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in a
Nice
couple
weekend,
weeks.
everyone. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take care.